Captain Morgan Mo Fletcher was having exactly the kind of day that made him question his life choices. Specifically, the choice to become a communications officer aboard the International Space Station instead of following his childhood dream of owning a taco truck. Earth Control, this ISS. Still no sign of the meteor shower you promised would boost morale, Mo drawled into his headset, kicking his legs up onto the console. Unless you count Commander Wilson's dandruff as a meteor shower, in which case morale is through the roof. Copy that, ISS. Keep monitoring the sector, came the board reply. Mo sighed and reached for his coffee, a sad, lukewarm concoction that had the consistency of motor oil and about half the flavor. As he took a sip, the communications panel erupted into a cacophony of beeps, lights, and alarms. What the hell? Mo spluttered, coffee dribbling down his chin as he scrambled to check the readouts. Earth Control. We've got some kind of. The screen before him flickered to life with an image that made him freeze mid-sentence. Staring back at him was not the expected face of a NASA controller, but something decidedly non-human. The creature had 6 eyes arranged in a perfect hexagon, skin that shimmered like an oil slick, and what appeared to be most squinted, yes, those were definitely tentacles where ears should be. The alien's mouth opened in what might have been a smile, revealing teeth that looked like tiny stalagmites. Greetings, humans of Earth, the creature said in perfect, if slightly over-enunciated English. I am Grand Ambassador Klix of the Zarnaxian Confederation. We come in peace and wish to establish diplomatic relations with your species. Mo blinked rapidly, looked at his coffee cup suspiciously, then back at the screen. This is Captain Fletcher of the International Space Station. I'm going to need to patch you through to someone with a higher pay grade. Certainly, Klix replied pleasantly. However, before we proceed, I must inform you of our one non-negotiable requirement. Of course there's a catch, Mo muttered under his breath. According to our sacred texts, Klix continued, either not hearing or politely ignoring Mo's comment, we must first pay proper homage to the divine entities who protect your realm before we can engage in diplomatic discussions. Mo's eyebrows shot up. Divine entities? You mean like God? Oh no, Klix said, tentacles wiggling excitedly. We speak of the mighty hammer wielder who commands the lightning. The metal man who flies through the air leaving energy trails. The green giant whose rage knows no bounds. The shield bearer who defies time itself. Mo's mouth fell open. These descriptions sounded suspiciously like. Our texts are clear, Klix went on, practically vibrating with religious fervor. These gods have protected Earth for generations. We have studied the sacred broadcasts from your world, showing their mighty deeds. We must honor them before diplomatic relations can begin. Sacred broadcasts? Mo repeated weakly. Klix nodded so vigorously his tentacles flopped. Yes, the vibrant depictions of your deity's heroic actions against forces of evil. The sacred sequences that always begin with the mystical runes, Marvel Studios presents. It was at this precise moment that Captain Morgan Fletcher realized that humanity's first alien encounter was being held hostage by what appeared to be the galaxy's biggest superhero fanboys. The United Nations Security Council emergency meeting was going about as well as a nuclear reactor meltdown, only with more shouting. Mo sat uncomfortably in a chair clearly designed for someone with a more impressive title, watching diplomats and military officials argue across a massive oak table. After being emergency shuttled back to Earth, he'd been whisked directly to New York with barely enough time to change out of his space funk clothes. So let me get this straight, said the U.S. Secretary of Defense, pinching the bridge of her nose. These aliens? Zarnaxians, Mo corrected. These Zarnaxians want to meet our gods, who they believe are the Avengers. Not just the Avengers, Mo clarified. Seems like they've picked up a grab bag of superhero broadcasts. They mention someone who moves faster than light itself and the Dark Knight who strikes fear into criminals. So Flash and Batman are in there too. The Chinese ambassador leaned forward. And they built an entire religion around these characters? Based on what we're seeing, yes, confirmed Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the hastily appointed head of the extraterrestrial cultural analysis team. They've been intercepting our broadcasts for decades. Somehow they interpreted our fiction as documentary evidence of divine protection. This is preposterous, thundered the Russian representative. We cannot entertain such nonsense. The French ambassador snorted. What do you suggest? Telling an advanced alien civilization that their deeply held religious beliefs are based on our entertainment industry? That would go well, I'm sure. Maybe we actually create the superheroes, suggested a junior aide, earning glares from around the table before shrinking back into his chair. The Zarnaxians have technology that allowed them to travel here from whatever star system they call home, Mo pointed out. Pissing them off might not be the wisest first move for humanity. The UN Secretary General, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. What exactly are they asking for? To worship at some sort of shrine to Iron Man? Mo consulted his notes. They want, and I quote, to pay homage to these divine protectors in a sacred ceremony, with the living vessels who channel their essence present. Living vessels? Asked the British representative. I think they mean the actors, Mo said. They want to meet Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and the rest. They believe the actors are something like priests or avatars of these gods. The room erupted into chaos again. Impossible. A security nightmare. What if they discover the truth? Mo sat back, watching the supposed leaders of the world melt down like toddlers denied ice cream. Then he noticed a calendar on the wall of the UN meeting room. July 17th, 2025. Something clicked in his brain. Wait, he said. Then louder when no one paid attention, wait. The room gradually quieted. San Diego Comic-Con starts next week, Mo said, the beginnings of a truly terrible idea forming in his mind. What does a comic book convention have to do with this? Asked the Secretary General. Everything, Mo replied, sitting up straighter. Most of the actors who've played these characters will be there. Thousands of people dress up as superheroes. There are panels, merchandise, the whole 9 yards. If the Zarnaxians want to honor our gods, there's literally no better place on Earth to do it. Are you suggesting the U.S.? Secretary said slowly, that we take an alien delegation to Comic-Con and pretend it's some sort of religious ceremony? That's exactly what I'm suggesting. After a moment of stunned silence, the Secretary General said, that is either the most brilliant or the most insane plan I've ever heard. I volunteer to lead the mission, Mo said, surprising himself. I've been communicating with them. They trust me. And I've been to Comic-Con 6 times. That last qualification may be the most important, murmured the French ambassador. The Secretary General studied Mo for a long moment. Captain Fletcher, congratulations. You've just been appointed Earth's first interstellar diplomatic representative. Mo grinned. Cool. Does that come with a parking spot? This is insane, said Professor Marcus Hendricks, pacing back and forth in the hastily repurposed conference room at the San Diego Convention Center. I'm a xenolinguistics expert. I study theoretical alien communication patterns. I don't orchestrate elaborate hoaxes. Not a hoax, Mo corrected, studying the Comic-Con floor plan spread across the table. Think of it as a cultural translation. We're helping the Zarnaxians participate in human traditions in a way that respects their beliefs. By lying to them, Marcus deadpanned. By showing them a good time, countered Devon Park, the comic book store owner Mo had recruited for his encyclopedic knowledge of superhero lore. Devon looked like he'd won the lottery, died, and gone to nerd heaven all at once. This is literally first contact with an alien species. Do you know how many people would kill to be in our position? Probably about as many people who'd kill us if this goes wrong, observed Jackie Wells, the final member of their makeshift team. A professional cosplayer with hundreds of thousands of social media followers, Jackie had connections throughout the convention circuit. She was currently sorting through a pile of VIP badges. Okay, I've got passes for the Zarnaxian delegation. How many are coming again? 6, Mo replied. Grand Ambassador Clicks, High Priest Moba, and 4 members of their Divine Appreciation Council, whatever that means. Marcus groaned. 6 aliens at Comic-Con. What could possibly go wrong? Relax, Mo said, patting him on the shoulder. Comic-Con is the one place on Earth where 6 weird-looking aliens will blend right in. I've got most of the actors on board, Jackie said, checking her phone. They think they're participating in a special government-sponsored event honoring international fans. Not entirely untrue. International meaning another star system, Devon snickered. How are we handling the autograph situation? Mo pointed to a section of the convention map. We've reserved a private room near the main exhibition hall. The actors will rotate through on a schedule, meeting our special guests and signing merchandise. Speaking of merchandise, Devon chimed in. I've assembled what I think is the perfect collection of limited edition posters, action figures, and comic books for the Zarnaxians to have blessed by their gods. And I've created a guide for the aliens, Marcus added, sliding a tablet across the table. First Contact Protocols, Comic-Con edition. It covers everything from not touching cosplayers without permission to proper bathroom etiquette. Bathroom etiquette? Mo raised an eyebrow. We don't know their biological processes, Marcus said defensively. Better safe than sorry. Jackie looked up from her phone. One problem. Chris Pratt had to cancel his appearance. Filming schedule conflict. Damn, Mo muttered. The Zarnaxians specifically mentioned the Guardian who communes with beasts. I know a guy who does an amazing Star-Lord cosplay, Devon offered. Like indistinguishable from the real thing. Mo considered this. Would that be disrespectful to their religion? Marcus scoffed. More disrespectful than the entire charade we're already pulling? Good point. Book him, Mo decided. What about security? Taken care of, Jackie said. Convention security thinks they're protecting international diplomats, which is technically true. And we've got plainclothes government agents scattered throughout the venue. Mo leaned back, studying their work. In just 5 days, they'd managed to reorganize significant portions of one of the world's largest conventions to accommodate visitors from another star system. Either this would go down in history as humanity's greatest diplomatic triumph, or as the most spectacular disaster since the invention of reply-all emails. One last thing, Mo said. Where exactly is the Zarnaxian ship going to land? The room fell silent as they all looked at each other. I thought you were handling that part, Devon said slowly. Mo closed his eyes. Perfect. This is not what I pictured for humanity's first official alien landing, Mo muttered, standing in the empty parking lot of the San Diego Convention Center at 5 a.m. I was thinking more Washington Monument, or at least dramatic desert. Parking lot makes more sense, Jackie replied, adjusting her earpiece. Flat surface, easy to secure, close to the venue. They'd managed to clear the entire back lot under the guise of a special effects demonstration for the convention. Now, a perimeter of government vehicles surrounded the area, while Mo's team waited nervously at the designated landing spot. Marcus checked his watch for the 5th time in 2 minutes. They're late. Bane. They're traveling from another star system, Devon pointed out. I think we can cut them some slack on punctuality. Actually, Mo said, checking his communication device, they've been in Earth orbit for 3 days, waiting for our signal. According to the message I just got, they're... A sudden gust of wind interrupted him, followed by a high-pitched whine that made everyone cover their ears. The air above them shimmered like a heat mirage, then solidified into a teardrop-shaped craft about the size of a city bus. It hovered 10 feet off the ground, eerily silent now, before gently touching down on the asphalt. Here, Mo finished unnecessarily. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, a seam appeared in the smooth hull, widening into a doorway from which extended a ramp. Showtime, Mo whispered, stepping forward as the first figure appeared in the doorway. Grand Ambassador Clix looked even more alien in person than he had on the video screen. About 4 feet tall, with that hexagon of eyes and tentacle ears, he wore what appeared to be ceremonial robes adorned with crude but recognizable superhero symbols. Behind him came 5 other Zarnaxians of varying heights, all dressed similarly. Captain Fletcher, Clix exclaimed, scuttling down the ramp with surprising speed. How wonderful to meet in the flesh. Or, well, in the whatever your species has instead of exoskeletons. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Clix, Mo replied, impressed by how steady his voice sounded. On behalf of humanity, we're honored by your visit. The honor is ours, said a slightly taller Zarnaxian moving to stand beside Clix. I am High Priest Moba. For generations we have studied your world from afar, marveling at the protection offered to you by your divine pantheon. Mo gestured to his team. These are my associates who will help facilitate your sacred pilgrimage. Professor Hendricks, our cultural expert. Jackie Wells, our ceremonial guide, and Devon Park, keeper of divine lore. The Zarnaxians made a synchronized motion with their tentacles that Mo assumed was a greeting. We have prepared traditional atmospheric supplements, Marcus said, stepping forward with what looked like oversized necklaces. Our air contains elements that might be different from what you're accustomed to. The aliens allowed the breathing apparatus to be placed around their necks, which activated with a soft blue glow. And these, Jackie added, distributing what appeared to be ordinary lanyards with Comic-Con badges, are your sacred credentials, allowing you access to all ceremonial areas. High Priest Moba held his badge reverently. We shall treasure these tokens. The sacred gathering begins in 3 hours, Mo explained. Until then, we've arranged accommodations where you can rest and prepare. As they escorted the aliens toward the waiting vehicles, Mo noticed convention workers beginning to arrive for the day. A few pointed and stared. Don't worry about them, he told the Zarnaxians. They're just honored by your presence. One worker approached, eyes wide. Dude, those costumes are insane. The detail on the tentacles. What are you guys, from some new sci-fi show? Before Mo could intervene, Devon stepped in smoothly. Exclusive preview for a streaming series. Very hush-hush. NDA City. Sweet. The worker gave a thumbs up to the confused aliens. See you inside. As they continued walking, Clix leaned toward Mo. What is this costume the human spoke of? Mo's mouth went dry. It's, a term of respect. For your natural form. I see, Clix replied, though he clearly didn't. Your species has many strange customs. You have no idea, Mo muttered, ushering them toward the convention center doors, beyond which lay thousands of costumed humans, celebrity actors who didn't know they were gods, and countless opportunities for interstellar diplomatic disaster. Just another Thursday at Comic-Con. The main exhibition hall of Comic-Con resembled what might happen if a glitter factory exploded inside a fever dream. Thousands of people in various states of costumed glory milled about, surrounded by towering displays of pop culture iconography, flashing lights, and enough merchandise to sink a battleship. By the 7 moons, whispered High Priest Moba, all 6 eyes wide with wonder. The sacred temple is magnificent. Mo, who'd been holding his breath since they entered, exhaled slightly. Yes, this is where humans come to honor our protectors. The Zarnaxian delegation moved through the crowd in a tight cluster, attracting admiring glances and photo requests, which Mo politely deflected. Thanks to the elaborate costumes all around them, the aliens were indeed blending in perhaps too well. Awesome Cthulhu cosplay, dude. A man dressed as Deadpool shouted, giving Ambassador Clix a high five before Mo could intervene. Cosmic gratitude for your acknowledgement of my divine form, Clix replied solemnly, leaving the man looking confused but amused. Jackie appeared at Mo's side. First panel is ready. Marvel Legacy. The heroes who shaped a universe, perfect for our purposes. They guided the aliens to a massive auditorium, already packed with fans. As they took their reserved front row seats, the lights dimmed, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Is this part of the worship ritual? Moba asked. Sort of, Mo hedged. It's enthusiastic reverence. The moderator appeared on stage, followed by 5 actors who had portrayed various Marvel superheroes over the years. The Zarnaxians vibrated with excitement, their tentacles waving in what Mo hoped was religious ecstasy, rather than the prelude to an attack. Are those the living vessels of the gods themselves? Whispered Clix, pointing at the actors. Yes, Mo confirmed, feeling a twinge of guilt. Those who channel the divine essence. What followed was 90 minutes of surreal QA, during which the aliens listened with rapt attention to actors discussing character arcs, behind-the-scenes anecdotes, and upcoming projects. Occasionally, the Zarnaxians would make strange chittering sounds that Marcus whispered was their version of reverent prayer. After the panel, things got even weirder. The VIP meet and greet had been set up in a private room, where the actors waited to meet their special international guests. Remember, Mo cautioned the Zarnaxians as they approached. In the presence of the divine vessels, traditional gestures of respect are appropriate. We have prepared for this moment for generations, High Priest Moba assured him. What no one had prepared for was the sight of 6 alien beings prostrating themselves before Chris Hemsworth. Their tentacles arranged in intricate patterns while making high-pitched humming sounds. To his credit, Hemsworth recovered quickly. G-Day. That's quite an entrance you folks have there. O mighty wielder of thunder, intoned Moba, still face down or what passed for a face in Zarnaxian anatomy, we have traveled across the stars to bask in your divine presence. Hemsworth shot a questioning look at Mo, who mouthed, they're really big fans. Well, always happy to meet enthusiastic Marvel lovers, Hemsworth replied good-naturedly. Would you like an autograph? Mattera. What followed was the most bizarre autograph session in Comic-Con history. The Zarnaxians presented sacred objects, action figures and posters Devon had procured for blessing, asked detailed theological questions about the realm of Asgard, and requested to touch Hemsworth's hair, which they believed contained actual lightning power. Similar scenes played out with the other actors. Mark Ruffalo was asked to demonstrate his transformation abilities. Sebastian Stan was questioned about the sacred metal arm of power. Elizabeth Olsen was presented with small vials in which the aliens hoped to capture some of her chaos magic. Things were going surprisingly well until they reached the DC section of their tour, where one of the junior Zarnaxian delegates made the mistake of asking Henry Cavill when the next Sacred Chronicle of Krypton would be released. That's actually up to Warner Bros. Not me, Cavill replied. Warner Brothers? The alien repeated, confused. Are they the high priests who commissioned the divine documentaries? A nearby fan overhearing this snorted. Documentaries? More like hit or miss cash grabs depending on which director they hire. Cash grabs? High Priest Moba turned all 6 eyes toward Mo. What does this worshipper mean? He's just expressing a different denomination of faith, Mo said desperately. But the damage was done. As they moved through the convention, the Zarnaxians began to notice inconsistencies. They overheard discussions about reboots and recasting. They saw different actors playing the same god in different posters. They witnessed heated debates about which version of a character was better. It all came to a head at the autograph table for comic book creators, where acclaimed writer-artist Jordy Nelson was signing copies of her latest graphic novel. Ambassador Clix, examining the artwork, suddenly stiffened. This depicts the mighty hammer wielder being defeated by the metal man. Such heresy cannot be possible. Nelson looked up, impressed by the elaborate alien costume. Well, in this storyline, Thor and Iron Man have a philosophical disagreement that... Storyline? High Priest Moba interrupted. You speak as if you decide the actions of the gods. Well, yeah, Nelson shrugged. That's what writers do. We create these characters and... Create? All 6 of Moba's eyes bulged simultaneously. Humans created the gods? Mo stepped in quickly. Perhaps we should continue this theological discussion in private. But it was too late. Moba had grabbed a nearby comic book and was flipping through it frantically. Publication date, creative team, fictional characters? Fictional? The High Priest dropped to what passed for knees in Zarnaxian physiology, making a keening sound that caused nearby convention goers to back away. Our entire belief system, Moba wailed, based on entertainment products? Mo looked at his team desperately. Operation Comic-Con had just suffered a catastrophic system failure. So, to summarize, Mo said, sitting across from the Zarnaxian delegation in the hastily repurposed convention center conference room, yes, the characters you've been worshipping are fictional. No, that doesn't necessarily invalidate your entire belief system. High Priest Moba had moved from existential crisis to something resembling catatonic shock, staring blankly at the table with all 6 eyes unfocused. Ambassador Klix, who'd taken the revelation with surprising composure, tilted his head. Explain. Mo glanced at his team for support. Marcus was stress-eating convention pretzels, Jackie was texting damage control to her celebrity contacts, and Devin looked like he was having the time of his life. Well, Mo began carefully, human culture has always had a complex relationship with fiction and reality. Even our actual religions often use stories and myths to convey deeper truths. You admit your own gods are fictional? Asked one of the junior delegates. That's complicated and varies among humans, Mo hedged. But what's important is that these stories matter to us. They inspire us, teach us values, help us imagine better versions of ourselves. Ambassador Klix considered this. The sacred broadcast sorry movies us showed beings who protect the weak, sacrifice for others, and fight for justice. These are values your species aspires to? Exactly, Mo nodded emphatically. These characters represent the best of what we hope to be. So you created gods in your own image, to inspire yourselves to be better? Klix's tentacles waved thoughtfully. That's actually quite profound. High Priest Moba suddenly stirred. But the powers, the hammer that only the worthy can lift, the metal suit that flies, these were fabrications? Devin cleared his throat. Special effects and imagination. But the emotional impact they have on us is real. Imagination, Moba repeated, testing the word. You humans can conceive of things that do not exist and then make others see them too? That's what storytelling is, Jackie confirmed. We've been doing it since we lived in caves. For the first time since the revelation, Moba's posture straightened. Among Zarnaxians, such ability is rare and highly treasured. We call it vision sharing. Only our most revered spiritual leaders possess this gift. Wait, Mo leaned forward. Are you saying that on your world, imagination is a rare spiritual power? Indeed, Klix confirmed. Most Zarnaxians perceive only what is. The ability to conceive what could be is considered divine. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. So when you intercepted our broadcasts, Marcus began. We assumed they came from beings of extraordinary spiritual power, Moba finished. And we were right, just not in the way we thought. Ambassador Klix's tentacles suddenly performed an elaborate dance. Don't you see? This changes nothing and everything. We came seeking gods and found something even more miraculous, an entire species of vision sharers. The junior delegates began chittering excitedly among themselves. Instead of worshipping your fictional gods, Klix continued, we should be forming an alliance with your species. Imagine what Zarnaxian technology combined with human imagination could accomplish. Mo blinked. So you're not angry that we basically let you worship Batman? Angry? Captain Fletcher, my people have traveled for generations hoping to find evidence of vision sharing beyond our world. And here you are. An entire planet of beings who do it so naturally you've built industries around it. What followed was the most productive first contact negotiation in history, admittedly, the only one in history. Within hours, the Zarnaxians had proposed a cultural exchange program, Zarnaxian technology and scientific knowledge in return for human stories, art, and creative collaboration. By evening, Comic-Con had been transformed. The Zarnaxian ship was now officially part of the exhibition, with lines stretching around the block. Panels were hastily reorganized to include the aliens discussing their perspective on human pop culture. Mo watched in amazement as Moba and a panel of science fiction writers enthusiastically debated the merits of different faster-than-light travel concepts. I can't believe this worked out, Jackie said, joining Mo at the back of the main hall. I can't believe I'm now officially Earth's ambassador of imagination, Mo replied, looking at his new credentials. The United Nations had moved with unprecedented speed to formalize the arrangement once they realized the economic and technological benefits at stake. Could have been worse, Devon pointed out. Imagine if they'd been watching our reality TV instead of superhero movies. Mo shuddered. Earth would be a smoking crater by now. As the convention wound down, Ambassador Klix approached Mo with what appeared to be a gift, a small crystalline device. "What's this?" Mo asked, accepting it carefully. "Technology that allows instantaneous communication across star systems," Klix explained, "so that we may continue to exchange stories." "And in return?" Klix's tentacles performed a gesture Mo had come to recognize as the equivalent of a smile. "Your recommendation of stories we might enjoy. Your Professor Hendricks suggested something called Star Wars?" Mo grinned. "Oh, you're in for a treat." 1 year later, Comic-Con International had been renamed Cosmic-Con Interstellar. Attendance had tripled, with special atmospheric domes constructed to accommodate visitors from 12 different star systems. The Zarnaxians had established an entire human imagination studies academy on their homeworld, while Earth enjoyed technological advancements that had revolutionized everything from medicine to space travel. Mo, now permanently assigned as head of the Interstellar Cultural Exchange Program, stood on the convention center roof watching ships arrive from across the galaxy. Next to him, Moba, now the Zarnaxian Minister of Human Relations, was wearing a meticulously crafted Iron Man costume. "You know," Mo said, "when I signed up for space duty, I never expected to end up here." "That is the beauty of imagination, friend Mo," Moba replied, his tentacles poking awkwardly out of the eye slits of his helmet. "It takes us to places reality never could." Below them, a group of Zarnaxian younglings was being led through the convention by human guides, their tentacles waving excitedly as they clutched freshly purchased comic books. "By the way," Moba added casually, "our analysis of your internet has revealed something called fan fiction. Is this another form of your vision sharing?" Mo closed his eyes and sighed. Some cultural exchanges might require a bit more diplomatic finesse than others. "Let's save that explanation for next year's convention," he said diplomatically. "Trust me, we'll need a much bigger conference room."